Welcome to NBNR, the authority on unfiltered opinions and authentic player insight for Nebraska athletics. Connect with us on Twitter, Instagram, and at NBNRpodcast.com.
We have the saying, no block, no rock.
You know, we just really love Otter. He's a junkyard dog.
Kenny Bell ran up to me. He's like, you know what you just did?
You get mad when you go get in the portal and go to another podcast?
You know, usually dumbbells are in pairs. They had 5 dumbbells.
Dang on it, Muhammad!
GBR.
Big red indeed. No block, no rock. Season 4, episode 15, coming at you live from the Nebraska Brewing Company tap room in La Vista, Nebraska, 68128. Fellas, it's a day. It's a Pilsner kind of day.
It is.
Yes, it is.
All of you.
With the exception of me, I'm drinking a good game.
Yeah.
But why are you all drinking, and you're double,
Yeah.
why are you all drinking Pilsner this evening? Why?
Okay, I can start that.
Yeah.
So Connor, when we walked in the bar today, was like, hey, I want to let you guys know something that's really sad for me. He said, hey, the Pilsner will be gone for like a month, and there's only like 2 glasses left on tap. And I'm back, I'm like, hey, what are we going to drink? What are we going to drink? And I go, oh, I know a perfect thing. I'm going to get a Pilsner. I never drink the Pilsner, but because, it's going to be gone for a while, I felt like I needed it. And so did Kyle.
Yeah, so did I.
And then we poured one for Jared, but it blew. The keg did blow. So we did give Connor Jared's Pilsner. Otherwise, we would have all been drinking Pilsners.
Yeah. So cheers to that.
Hey, cheers to that. It's okay. It's an okay beer.
Connor doesn't want to participate.
It's no good game and it's no hef, but it is a.
What's wrong, buddy?
What's wrong?
What's wrong? This is therapy session. What's wrong? What's up?
After a loss, also losing my favorite beer.
And this is how you do me?
Damn. Yeah, at least after a Husker loss, you could at least depend on the Pilsner to cradle you in its arms and make you feel better.
The pain that I feel right now has never been felt before.
And the betrayal.
Yeah, the betrayal.
First world problem. I don't have Pilsner.
I don't have my favorite beer.
Tie a noose.
It's that tweet you see every week. It's like, oh, the 19-year-olds at my favorite college didn't score enough touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then
now
to add on to it, it's like, oh, the beer that I drink for free is also gone. Oh, what a hard life.
Our friend and loyal listener, Kyle Ross, just said, how are you guys doing tonight? Connor, do you want to answer that question for him? How are you doing tonight?
Kyle, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Not well.
Yeah.
Not well.
And look, I think we're all different degrees of not well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just that in general, whether Nebraska loses or not. When they win, I am not well. Nah, but Kyle Ross, you will if you stick with us, I think you will find out more about our state of mind.
No kidding.
So guys, come to the tap room, La Vista, Nebraska, 68128. Connor, help me out. World class.
In every glass, especially the Pilsners.
Yeah. All right. We told you all off season, we told you got to pick a side. 5-7, 7-5, whatever. Even if you want to say 12-0, fine. But this team is not going 6-6. It's not gonna happen. And what do you know? You guys, what do you know? NBNR, no block, no rock, is right again. We are always right.
That never happens.
We are literally, I know there's 4 of us, so the odds of someone being right is pretty high. But we are always right. Listen to us. We will, people out there, you could be a toxic, positive Husker fan that doesn't ever want to hear anything negative, or you could be that negative fan that just never acknowledges any positive things. Either way, we got you. Just listen to what we have to say. We will guide you in the right direction.
It's literally in the description of our podcast.
Yes, I'm being a little cocky, but go on.
Take that Husker Kool-Aid shot. We'll be your chaser.
We got you.
Yeah.
Like, that should just be like our hashtag. We got you. You can be pissed off at us. You could love us. Either way, We got you. Yeah. All right, guys. So that Matt Rhule quote that had been going around for a couple, I think like a month, a little over a month. If we die, we die. And I got to change that to when we die, we die.
I said that. That was mine. I said that shit on Friday.
When we die, we die. 13-10. Iowa does Iowa things. They are resourceful. They kick I guess it was a field goal, whatever you want to call that thing, that went through the uprights barely to win the game 13-10 at the buzzer, just as we all deep down knew would happen. Right?
I would agree.
Sad to say.
Yeah.
Like we are so uncomfortable with having an opportunity to win the game. We just give it away.
Mhm.
And it happened again. 4 games in a row.
And like my mantra, and I'm saying it again, people, it's about plays, not points.
That was perfect.
And again, no block, no rock is right. Again, the lowest over-under in history. And guess what?
It hit.
It hit the under.
Yeah.
Weird. It's not about points. It's about plays. And Iowa just makes one extra play at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Just when you thought. Like, I remember during the game, there's like an eccentric gentleman behind me, and, he's cheering. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times when Nebraska would make a play, I would say, make a play. And we would high five. Because Nebraska had its fair share of plays, guys.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Like, they made plays, and it looked like, at the end, Tommy Hill, interception. Returns it to, he had the holding, whatever. The ball was on their own 45 with 30-something seconds left.
Yep.
At least overtime, at least. And what do you know? A freaking interception.
That was
because
the worst thing, too. Like, the worst throw.
And I didn't walk out of the stadium after that. No. I didn't walk out of the stadium too far after that, too long after that. But guys, they just make one extra play because this is what they do. Arguably, their defense is very good, but arguably their strongest side of the ball, their strongest phase is special teams. Mm-hmm. And they were not good on special teams all day.
We beat them in special teams. 3 phases of the game.
Yep.
We beat them in the one we gave them. Guaranteed Iowa is going to be better than us in that category. And we beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Torrey Taylor was punting the ball like Brian Buschini, and Brian Buschini was punting the ball like Torrey Taylor.
Yeah.
Hitting him at the 1.
But so there's this hidden 4th phase of the game.
Uh-oh.
Score.
That's not hidden.
Yeah. I think probably everybody listening, especially everybody at this table, had the same phase. Like, I've seen this movie before.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And to quote Linkin Park, yeah, you're going to like this one. I've just become so numb to that feeling.
Oh, I thought you were going to. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I've just become so numb. Like, when we get to that point, like, that game, I understand Nebraska goes into that game favored by, at one point, 4.5, which is obscene to me. 2.5, I was already nervous. But we looked like a team that, for all intents and purposes, should have closed that out. And then to see how it goes, I'm not even sure I feel pain anymore.
Okay, so my question, and this is relevant considering the Maryland game and the Wisconsin game and how those games ended. One was they played it safe, and one was they played aggressive.
Yep.
In both cases, they lost. And in this case, if you watched the Bills on Sunday, you saw Josh Allen take a knee with 30 seconds left. He had to just go down, score a field goal. They would have won the game. He took a knee. They took it into overtime. Matt Rhule, instead of doing that with one of the worst offenses in the country, he, I guess you could call it, was aggressive and tried to get his guys down in field goal range.
They needed 20 yards.
They needed 20 yards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the consensus? What is it? We should have played it safe. We should have been aggressive, because now we've lost three ways, pretty much all the same. and you had different philosophies in all three. Well, in 2 out of 3, whatever.
I think the Maryland game, like the previous 2 games were different. I think at that point you're trying to see how many you can get out of the season. With the Iowa game, you're looking to prolong a season. You need this.
It's playoff mode.
Yeah, you have to you have to play to kill. You have to just get going. There were so many, I feel like miscues, like leading towards the end of that game. It felt like both teams were trying to hand it to the other.
Yeah,
it was bad.
And we had a lot of chances to capitalize and we just weren't taking them. And then when we did try to take them, and I know we'll get into diving into special teams later. There were just so many ways we could have won that game. But you in that situation, you have to be aggressive. You have to. Because it is the difference between going to sit at home for the rest of the year or getting another 3 weeks of practice in a bowl game. Go to kill.
Yeah, I respect the decision to go and get 20 yards.
100%.
Here's my
I would
thing.
too.
If you're a Power 5 football team and you're trying to build on something and you're trying to beat your rival and become 6-6 and become bowl eligible, all these things that come with it. Imagine if you took the knee there and you would have just played for overtime, which we saw what happened last week. We played for overtime and we lost.
Yeah.
So to me,
in the last, I believe 38 one possession games, including overtime, Nebraska 8-30.
8-30.
Yeah.
Is that a position that we want to continue to play for?
And Matt Rhule has said none of that stuff applies to him.
That's fair.
But the last 4 do.
Yeah.
The last 4 do.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
My thing is like, okay, they played aggressive.
5 now.
Yeah, 5. Is it 5? Yeah, 5 in
now.
a row. Yeah. They played aggressive, and Chuba, who managed the game well, he had the lowest of the low to end the game. And it's just crazy to think about it. We had the ball. We intercepted Iowa with 35 seconds left.
Yeah.
Game winner.
And we had the ball. If we don't get that holding call, which is, whatever side of the fence you're on, whatever, it happened.
There's still good field position.
It got
Yes,
called.
you still had decent field position. You had the ball. The fact that Iowa got the ball back when you had 35 seconds is incredible.
Hey,
Incredible.
how much time did we burn off that clock?
6 seconds?
9 seconds.
Okay, I was guessing.
9 seconds. We had 35 on the clock, and we can't send that to over. Like, I'm all aboard. Play to win here. You got to be a killer. You got to go. But we get 9 seconds off the clock.
Well, I mean, when you are passing,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to be aggressive, you're going to be throwing the ball. So I understand that. And he did throw the pick on second down. So, God.
You're coming off the interception. You have the momentum. Yeah, I mean, and your field position was good.
Yeah.
And you don't need to score a touchdown. You just need to get
Field goal.
a 40-yard field goal.
Yeah. Well, and Alex Bullock was actually open. Like, I don't want to totally shit on Chuba in that situation.
Yeah.
He didn't see the guy directly in front of him. The guy behind that guy was open.
Yeah.
But, like, you can't throw it to the guy in front of him.
You know what it
Right, because that's not the right guy.
Yes.
It almost looked like there was like a panic, and like you're playing intramural basketball or something and you accidentally pass it to the wrong team.
Yeah.
As soon as it leaves your hands, you're like, oh
No!
yeah, like he knew immediately. Like he messed up big.
And yeah, so I'm not here to make excuses for Chuba. I'm not. That is a mistake. We have to just call it what it is. However, it's tough to say, like, the guy hasn't had a whole lot of playing time. He's put in a position to save a season, and it's high pressure. He made a bad decision. I'm not totally out on Chuba. I think, again, I know we'll get into this later in the episode. I'm still in on, like, let's go get a transfer guy.
God, I hope so. I hope
Yeah.
you're
And
wrong.
we do have a question from Wyatt in the chat that we can get into as far as transfer guys go.
And I just on Chuba, like,
I'm just not dead on Chuba yet. That's my whole point.
I acknowledge the whole lack of playing time. I get it, but my God, can we find a dude?
Can we
just get over? It's always something, guys. It's always something. This guy didn't practice enough. He was running scout team. Can we just find a dude?
You're so close to what I want you to say.
Look,
You're so close to what I want you to say.
And I know Amir Abdullah is a high bar. But can we cut the fucking excuses away? I'm sick of this. Figure it out. That's why you go on the portal. You just got to find a quarterback that's a freaking dude and that people are going to rally behind and that doesn't get scared because maybe they didn't get enough practice. Just find a guy.
Well, and like,
please, I'm just so sick of.
I feel bad for Chubba though, because he kind of got put in a shit situation because the bread and butter that has worked all season did not work against Iowa. We could not run the ball. And statistically, I have them here for you. By the running backs that were non-quarterback runs, we had 18 carries for 33 yards, with 6 yards being the long.
18 for 33?
That's it.
So is that like 1.8 yards a carry?
Yes. So that, Chubba, you can say, yes, that was a terrible throw, a terrible way to end the game.
It was.
But when your identity on offense is running the ball and that's not there, and it's not like we didn't try. We did it 18 times.
But look, in that situation, there's no threat of run.
You have to,
you're trying
to throw the ball.
We knew going into that game that was going to be an issue. Again, we brought it up on the episode prior that Nebraska was a top 3 rushing defense. They were ranked number 3. Iowa was ranked number 8. We knew that was going to be tough. And we had to center that offense around the pass. Again, I understand, we're missing 3 wide receivers. Fedoni, what did he have? 1 reception, 2 receptions?
1. Ghost. I think 1.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even saying that's his fault.
But no, that's not Fedoni's problem. I'm just saying that's like a glaring issue. Right. When we look at how Fedoni has performed when he's getting catches and what our receiving core looks like, I'm surprised we weren't targeting that more. So again, this doesn't come down to Chubba.
No.
We knew the running game was going to be an issue going into Iowa.
What was the comment?
So there's a couple of them already. People are asking us. We have a comment from Wyatt Gibson and Trey Otis, both asking us. There's a lot of quarterbacks that'll be going the portal. Any opinions on who they should go after? Will Howard, for both those guys, was their pick.
Sure.
I second that. I'm just going to say this, though.
I'll throw that third right there.
If Will Howard is the guy, he's played in big games, whatever. He has a connection here because Adrian's here now. And Adrian did play with Will Howard. So you have the connection to come to Nebraska. But my question would be, why would Will Howard want to come to Nebraska?
And it's funny you say that because I don't know if you guys caught this. The tweet
I know.
by a 24/7 guy.
Yeah.
And said, why the hell would any quarterback want to play for Marcus Satterfield? Nebraska has money, so they have that. But why would any quarterback want to play under the tutelage of Satterfield? And gotta say, I can't disagree with what the fella is saying. You can call him a hater. You could say he was wrong about the defense because he said the black shirts would not be good.
He said they were going to be bad.
Yeah.
But based on what we saw from the offense, and how they said Jeff Sims and NFL in the same damn sentence.
Dude, he couldn't fit Jeff Sims and arena football in the same sentence. Like that, I don't think he's good enough to even play in arena football. Like Omaha Beef. Like even in that league, you have to take care of the football.
And like Will Howard. Okay, cool. There's going to be a lot of teams that want him. Notre Dame. You just can run down the list. Teams that will be able to pay for that fella's services. 1890. Pony up. And, I don't know what Rhule's influence on 1890 exactly. If he's like pretty much the one pulling the strings and Matt Davidson's like, yes, sir.
Officially, I don't think Matt Rhule is allowed to.
But know what I mean.
Come on, wink,
officially.
Wink. Yeah.
But it's like, hey, Matt Davison, I want this guy. I believe he is the right guy. You have to pay the necessary amount of money if you believe that is the right guy. Because quarterback, as you guys saw, is very important.
The most important.
The most important position on the field.
Quick question. Again, this is not our money, but I want to ask you guys, is it absurd to say that Nebraska should be willing to spend up to, if not maybe a little bit more of a milli on a quarterback for this next year?
I mean, I don't want to say no to that, but I don't want to say yes either. I think the thing is it's going to be whatever the going rate is, because we don't know what the going rate is for a transfer Power 5 quarterback. Now we've heard some pretend numbers. I know that like when I talked with Sean Callahan and stuff, like I've heard him say like 300,000 is like an adequate number for like a quarterback. Whatever it is, money should not be an issue.
Do you want adequate? I'm saying if we want to go get one of these top guys out of the portal.
No, okay.
Is there a limit?
Here's my thing, okay? I don't need a Heisman contender quarterback.
You need a game manager.
I need a quarterback that has less than 20 has less than 18 interceptions, less than 6 fumbles. Like I don't need somebody that's going to go out there and put up. I mean, it would be nice if they put up 3,500 yards in a season, but all I need is somebody that's not running with the ball in one hand and fumble and trying to like do a shuttle pass and
flipping the ball forward.
Like I don't need somebody that's just this like high flash. I just need somebody that's going to go out there and just make smart decisions.
A solid guy, experienced guy that doesn't rattle when the game matters, because guess what? Every game that Nebraska plays in is a close game. Besides Michigan. You guys, I made this argument like a few weeks ago that 1890s got to pony up if they want the best quarterback in the portal. And like I have come around to you, Kyle. It's just find a solid guy, a dude.
But I want a guy that fits. Like I don't want to get a guy like Jeff Sims. Like for instance, it sounded like when Matt Rhule got hired that we wanted to run pro style offense.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go get Jeff Sims. The next thing you know, it's we would like our quarterbacks to be mobile. And then we have all these option concepts because we're trying to make what works with our guys. If you want to be Iowa, if you want to be Wisconsin before this year, if you want to be Minnesota, you need a quarterback that is mobile enough, but that your offense is not sink or swim because they are mobile.
Well, so Mike, I think to your point, you need to develop your scheme and find a QB that fits it.
Yes.
Not develop a scheme for your QB. Like it cannot be the other way around.
Well, and you have to, I mean, the benefit of the doubt is that with all the injuries, a lot of things had to change.
Sure.
Maybe they thought, we're just going to, this season, we're going to develop this run game, and you're going to have Anthony Grant, and you're going to have all these guys that can just run it up the middle. And then all of a sudden, 2 games in, now you don't have your top 2 running backs, and you're missing 3 of your wide receivers, and you're like, that quarterback's going to have to run 10 times a game.
Yeah. We said it.
Yeah.
We were like, hey, we need Harburg to carry the ball 15 to 20 times. We need that. And before the season, we're like, absolutely not. Like that is a detriment to your team if your quarterback has to run it like that. Yes, I want to get back to that point where that is a detriment when your quarterback is featured like that in the offense. Lamar Jackson isn't going to be in the portal. I'm just telling you guys that now. Like that's not going to happen. Wyatt did drop in the chat. He said, speaking of the Martinez connection with Howard, Will Howard is from Pennsylvania. Rhule's East Coast connections may come into play also. Dude, if Will Howard is the next quarterback in Nebraska, I'm going to be happy. Sure. Because he played for an adult at Kansas State. He won games. He's played in big games.
Won big games.
And he's ran a similar offense. Like he even had a little bit of option. He's had some RPO stuff at Kansas State. Like it would be great.
If he's our next quarterback, I'll eat my hat. He ain't coming here.
If he comes to your suite, I just don't think they're going to jump on him right away. I think Rhule still needs to have all those conversations, and then they need to like really sit down as a staff and figure out what are we going to do? What do we want to look like?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think you just jump on because Will Howard is in the portal right now. You have to go get him. Because what does that tell Chuba? What does that tell Harburg? I'm not saying those guys should be the starters, but what does that tell your current roster?
To add another dimension of this, when we talk about like we all agree, right, that no QB we have on the roster is going to be what we need going into next year.
Agreed.
Some
might say Chuba, but I just don't agree with that.
I don't hate Chuba. I think he deserves a spot on the roster.
Sure.
As a starter, I would disagree with that. But with the elimination of divisions in the Big Ten, no more Big Ten West, no more Big Ten East, we are going to face a lot more diverse offenses, a lot more diverse defenses. How does that play into your QB search? How does that affect the scheming?
I don't think it should matter.
Well, I mean, you look at teams coming in like USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon. No, it does matter quite a bit because
Remember-
you're going to be facing very, very different teams than what you've typically seen.
Do you
being in the
remember
Big Ten
when
West.
Scott Frost came into the Big Ten and he thought the Big Ten was going to adjust for them?
Yeah.
No, like that, it's going to be the same thing. USC's going to come in here and they're going to be like, oh, we're going to run our fast this offense. And guess what? Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, they're going to be like, oh, that's cute. Cool. Punch you in the face again and again and again.
With Washington and Oregon, I mean, we're looking in this Pac-12 championship. We're looking at whoever wins that game is going to the playoffs. Like we understand that. We know these offenses can score, and the only way, like the defense looked great this year. If not great, upper tier good. But you're still going to have to put up points, and you're going to have to adjust to different schemes like Pac-12 defenses or traditionally Pac-12 defenses. So is that going to kind of?
I don't think you're looking at USC's defense and going, oh.
No,
Dude,
I'm not
they were
worried
the
about
worst in the
USC's
country.
defense.
I'm not looking at UCLA's defense and going, oh.
Yeah. Washington and Oregon.
If Utah would have came here, I'd have been like, damn.
Yes.
But we got the
I'm
teams that don't care about defense.
Here's where
I'm
I'm
talking
standing.
about two potential playoff teams.
Here's where I
and
stand.
saying, look at those defenses. Like, if we want to win against these kinds of teams, like, you cannot look for a traditional Nebraska quarterback.
I understand what you're asking. Nebraska needs to worry about itself before it can worry about anybody else. They need to. You're looking at me weird.
Yeah.
Nebraska beats itself
Yes.
more than other teams beat them.
Agreed.
They need to find out what they want to be
Most
and not
turnovers-
worry about, oh, Washington's coming in here. What are we going to do for Washington?
Nobody gives a
Just
shit what
follow-
Washington's doing.
Just what do you want to be? Just worry about fixing your own house.
Did we finish the season with most turnovers in college football?
Indeed.
Yes.
So
At least we're number one in something.
Yeah.
So even without playing Washington, Oregon, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
we are still turning the ball over at a historic rate. So I don't even care about them. Fix it now. Worry about your own house before you even worry about anybody else.
But is that
That's
not?
good. That's a good point.
But is that not innately like if you're not worried about your opponents, worrying about your own house? Like again, you have to worry about the other team.
Well, I know,
to fix the issue.
But your point is
You
also
have to.
innately, of course, you're going to worry about the opponent. But
yeah,
But
just-
you worry about the
have to.
opponent the week you play the opponent. You don't worry about the opponent right now when you're shopping for a quarterback.
I'm not talking about scheming. I'm just talking about like we have to look at these defenses that are coming in again, like Washington and Oregon.
But
Right,
what,
You have
but
to understand
what's
that
so-
we're only
I-
adding harder competition. You can't go get some schlub out of the portal. We can't be talking about, oh, I just want somebody that's going to not have 25 turnovers.
But
I
Nebraska's
need-
already playing good defenses.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
We don't need to worry
I was
about.
to ask him that. What does Oregon and Washington do on defense that the rest of the Big Ten does not?
we played we played two really good defenses this season. We're playing like we added two more, potentially three, going into next season.
But I mean, that's
football.
like, I'm just trying to figure out. That's just, I don't really know how to like.
I
really
think
take
there's
this.
more to it than just go get some average QB. Because again, I'm not talking down on Chuba. Like, I appreciate what all of our QBs did this season, except for Jeff Sims. Sorry, Jeff. But
Don't be sorry.
you can't just go grab some average guy and think, oh, we're gonna go to a bowl game.
Okay, right.
Like, it's
Okay,
just not
but
gonna happen.
So here's my thing. You lost to a team that had lost 5 in a row in Michigan State.
Sure.
Then you lost to a team that had gone 4 in a row. Then Maryland, and you're playing some of the worst offenses in the entire country back to back to back to back, and you still can't win because you've got 4 turnovers, 5 turnovers a game.
Yeah.
So if you can just go get a quarterback that is not fumbling the ball 2 times a game and throwing 3 interceptions a game,
You're going to win.
you're going
those
to
games.
You're going to win, especially if you've got a top 15 defense, which we did this year.
Yeah.
So it's like right now, I understand what you're saying, Jared. That's like a great point. Like right now, you just need to worry about, can we just cut down on the turnovers? Can we find a guy that's going to cut down on the turnovers? And then when it comes time to worrying about other defenses and other offenses and things like that, you better have your shit squared away before you even get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evan Anderson put a comment in the chat. I think that sets all this up perfectly. It says, you need to find an identity, whether it's West Coast, pro style,
Yes.
Air Force option, etc., and be good at it. Just find something that will work here and just be good at that, and the rest will take care of itself. And no matter what you're running, as long as you take care of the football, you're going to be in every game because our defense is good. Our special teams got better. I won't say they're good, but they got better.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. That maybe that's a Ed Foley discussion we could have, but yeah, I mean, you just gotta find, pro style is going to be pro style is so,
it's everything. It's all encompassing.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
West Coast ain't working in the Big Ten.
Find what you're good at and just worry about yourself first. And okay, just defensively, just real quick. Deacon Hill, 11 for 28, 94 yards. He trips
Awful.
and
he beat us.
Yeah, he beat us. Absolutely. I mean, that's because the offense is terrible. But just when it comes to, again, points, not plays, Nebraska's defense this year is going to be known for being great 90% of the time.
That
but
10%?
just when you needed it most, again, even after the interception by Chuba at the end, they allow a 20-something yard run. Yep. And it's just, that's when you needed the deep. And look, Tommy Hill, great play. The possession before, awesome. But when you needed a stop the very most, you allow a 20-something yard gash. And that's when I left. I yelled up at Mike. I go, if you want to stay and watch this horse shit, watch this kick go through the uprights, you go for it. And I remember walking down on the concourse, the field goal's good. And, I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. I'm like, God fucking damn it. And some chick walks by me and goes, hey, no block, no rock, you're in my living room every week. And I'm like, sorry.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's just when you needed a play the most, you allow a 20-yard gash. And of course, it's at the worst possible time.
Did I not, when we got back to the bus, which I believe, shout out River City Concrete?
Yes,
Shout out River City Concrete for getting no block, no rock to the game this last week. Thank you very much. But I met you guys back at the bus. And I think some of my first words were, that was a top 3 rushing defense. That's what I just watched.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't. We looked bad.
Well,
not bad. I mean, we still limited to 13 points. But again, Jared, to your point, when we needed it most, a top 3 in the country rushing defense allowed it to happen.
Well, you've got circumstances. You think Iowa's just going to go out there and they're going to, hey, we got 20 yards to go. How many teams are going to rush up the middle on that?
I know.
None. So Tony White is not thinking about, hey, we need to just load the box and just send it. No, he's probably thinking like, hey, let's bump back a little bit. Let's wait for this pass that's eventually going to happen. And of course, Iowa calls a run in between the tackles and he goes for 22. I mean, that's like circumstantial. You held him to 13 points. 3 of those points came on the last freaking play.
Off of a turnover.
Yeah.
Look at the points that Iowa scored and then look at what happened prior to them getting the football. Chuba fumbled the ball. They got points.
Yep.
All right.
Chuba threw an interception. They kicked the game-winning field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was it.
I also do. I think it's an important, like Kyle, your context is accurate. I think it is also important to understand that we held them to 13 points, but we were also playing one of the worst offenses in the NCAA.
The worst.
Yeah, the worst.
Dude, they are
holding them
as
to
bad
13,
as advertised.
Holding them,
seriously.
holding them to 13 is not like I'm going home with a fuzzy feeling in my heart. Like,
yeah, but Mike just mentioned,
they wouldn't have scored if you didn't give them the ball.
Right. The
if
defense didn't give them that point.
The linebacker the ball or Chuba trying to do some shovel pass thing, whatever.
It was cold out.
Just ridiculous. And then when he dropped the ball, he just dropped the ball. We got it back, but like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like that stuff does, like I watch football 5 times a week. I never see this stuff. I've never seen this stuff, but we see it every week.
Yeah. It's
anywhere else.
You could bet on it happening.
I watch Maction football. I watch Conference USA. I've watched all of that and it doesn't happen. And it happens at Nebraska every freaking week.
In the fourth quarter.
Always in the fourth quarter.
When you need to play the most.
Yeah. It's a special kind of hell. Yeah.
It's insane.
And like, okay.
Is there something we did?
What did we do?
Is there some higher power that we really pissed off? Like,
just like, I don't know, more on the defense. You think back to the Minnesota game. They played pretty much kind of amazing for most of that game. But then Minnesota just makes a play. They just make a play. And
everybody makes a play.
The defense just on third down, guys, as good as this defense has been, just can't get off the damn field ever.
Yeah, there was that like There was that where the running back ran into the offensive lineman and they just kind of like stood there and somebody picked up the offensive lineman. And he just ran around. It was just like, it literally looked like, those old, like those videos of teammates like tackling each other in the middle of a play. That's what it looked like, except the running back just kept running.
It's just
like 3rd and 9.
We do things that other teams don't. And it's so annoying. And I pray that Matt Rhule fixes that. And with 2 guys coming back, like a Nash Hutmacher and a Ty Robinson, like I hope they watch that stuff.
Here, okay. So I'm glad because that's in my notes, right? Ty and Nash return. Now, if we're going to talk about the positives from the season, what we took away, and I think the defense as a whole is one of them. The defensive line, what we were probably worried about the most
100%.
coming into the season.
Yeah.
Turned out to be a strength, okay? So Nash and Ty coming back. This is nothing against them, what I'm going to ask you guys. Nothing against them because they played very, very well this year. Dare I say, all conference in the running in that talk. Is it time for just some fresh blood?
No.
And what I mean by that is as good as these guys played, and I do want them back, just with the way that this team crumbles. And this isn't really the Dion thing because Dion went extreme, but maybe it is a little bit of that. Just some fresh blood. Go on.
No, my thing is we talk about culture a lot and people buying in and things are going to change. Those 2 guys could be on NFL rosters next year. What that tells me is what they are being told and sold at the University of Nebraska. They like it so much. They love this freaking pain that we go through every Saturday. And obviously they feel it way worse than we do.
Oh, yeah.
They love that so much that they're going to bet their livelihoods, their future on another season here. So to me, I understand where you're going. Like, yeah, maybe some fresh blood. I think we had that this year, and we did see what fresh blood looks like. We saw Prince Will. We saw Cam Lenhart. We saw Javen Wright finally getting an opportunity. Like, we saw fresh faces and fresh blood out there. The defense, I get that.
Right.
Like, I do not want them. I don't see that, I guess. The offense, though, maybe that's
Jeff Sims was fresh blood. Ooh.
Yeah. Sometimes just be careful what you wish for, though.
Right. I don't know. I just, I'm just thinking about them. As good as those guys are, at the end of the day, it's the Titanic meme. It's been 7 years. 7 years without a bowl game. Now, guys, a bowl game.
Yeah, I mean, if that defense had ended up being 120th in the country, I'd be like,
right.
Yeah.
It's time. Yeah, but bye.
Get to stepping.
But considering it was a top 15 defense, like I think that they've kind of got that room handled quite a bit.
Game record.
Like,
Yeah.
I hear you. And again, overall, very good. But again, when the pressure is at its highest, just can't find it.
It's not their fault, though.
And I'm not.
So, yeah,
listen,
hold on.
I'm not assigning fault or blame
Yeah.
necessarily. I'm just saying it is what it's for more than 7 years, guys. It's just
Yeah.
fourth quarter crumbling.
I want to point there. I have a couple of points here. First of all, there's 11 guys on defense. We're talking about Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmacher.
and
That's 2 of the 11.
This goes for the whole team. I'm not.
No,
just,
no, I understand that. But my next part, again, I'm quoting a lot of people tonight. Kobe Bryant, job finished. Job's not finished.
Of course not.
Nash and Ty understand that they have started something. Getting that top 15 defense, they have created a movement inside that room that they are ready to keep going forward. And I think to end this point, having that veteran leadership in that room going into next year is going to be incredibly important. You talk about new blood. What better way to shape it than having guys like Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmacher sitting right there with you?
Again, you say veteran leadership, which is true. They've been there for, this is going to be their 5th or 6th year. How many bowl games have they been to?
Yeah, I understand. You're saying that's a bad experience.
No, I'm not judging this on bowl games. I'm judging it on their performance and how they lead a team.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me. You think any one of us is happy sitting here saying 7 years without a bowl game? No. But on that defense, those are two key players.
Absolutely.
That are instrumental to shaping the future of this Nebraska defense.
They played very well.
Yeah, them coming back is huge.
Yeah, fair. I just wanted to throw it out there, see what somebody thought.
KB, what do you think about that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think as far as the defense goes, I don't think but clearly offense,
and again, Justin was first play.
I think you're speaking for all of us just with that one syllable.
Yeah, you need an overhaul.
Yeah.
And that's coming from the guy that's never about you need some serious help.
So I do want to ask you a question on that. I guess so. An overhaul, what does that look like for you? Because the offensive line, for instance, like, and I text Sam Hahn and whatnot. The offensive line, once again, 2 seasons in a row, has progressively got better, even with the circumstances of losing guys for the year. Donnie's doing his job.
Yeah,
and I remember a couple years ago, Minnesota had, after the COVID year, they had all these grown-ass men with the extra year of eligibility. And they were like an old team.
Mm-hmm.
In the Big Ten, and especially in college football, if you have an old team, that's a good thing. It's not like you're an NFL franchise where you have like an old aging player. No, you have like a grown-ass man playing college football. That's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
So I'm not big on the overhaul thing because I think the offensive line took steps. Obviously, the receivers, we had true freshmen out there performing, making plays. Some of the biggest plays of the season were made by 18-year-old kids.
Yeah.
So another year of that, overhaul's tough. We just know that if we had a guy who could manage a football game, we're not talking about this. We're talking about, hey, what flights are we taking to go to a bowl game?
Right.
That didn't happen.
Right.
Because you remember, we did go on a winning streak this year. Like this season was the definition of a roller coaster. It really was. So I don't know. I don't like the overhaul thing. I just don't.
I do agree with you that the offensive line has continued to get better. I just think my overhaul comment comes from like the position that we were in this year is because you didn't have anybody behind your starting wide receivers. You had just nothing but true freshmen. You had multiple out there trying to make big plays. You talk about all these turnovers and stuff. Not all the time you can just say, oh yeah, that's the quarterback's fault. You talk about the Maryland interception, right? How do we know that Malachi Coleman wasn't supposed to just immediately go inside instead of taking his defender into the end zone and then cutting in? That had 2 defenders sitting in the exact same spot. I highly doubt that Marcus Satterfield put that play together like that. So I'm just saying, like, you kind of just need to add bodies. You just need a bunch of bodies. You need guys with experience. Wide receivers are a dime a dozen in the transfer portal.
Yep.
Go out and get yourself a handful of dudes that have started in the past. Maybe not started. Maybe you go get yourself a Trey Palmer. You go get anybody, just people that have played before, and you just throw them out there and you help the young guys grow. Keep the young guys coming out, learning. Like, that's what I mean by overhaul. I don't think that it's get rid of the offensive line.
Get rid of everybody.
No,
you're saying just like, bring in some fresh faces and see what else we can do.
We need
depth.
We need to make every, especially on offense, every position is a competition. If you are not good enough, then like the Dion thing,
next man up.
The portal. Bro, we got to make moves here. It's been 7 years. You can't make a bowl game. We got to make moves, fellas. So Matt Rhule, year 2, figure out what didn't work in year 1. We have faith in you that you will make the right decisions. You know the lay of the land. You know what's good, what's bad. Make moves. Don't be waiting. If you got to make changes, do it. Don't wait.
I have one more question because I know we're probably getting close to break.
We're way
over.
beyond it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
One quick question.
Yep.
We talked about, I believe, in the season preview episode about how this was the first season where, in a long time, that we were not going to be requiring offensive linemen to wear knee braces. We saw an okay to solid amount of injuries on that offensive line. Do you think that could have been a factor into losing? I mean, we had 3 guys that missed a pretty large chunk of the season. Do you think those knee braces might have helped? Do you think that decision might have impacted the season and might have cost us the one win we needed?
No, I mean, it seemed like every offense we faced. Yeah, I feel like every offense that we faced, everybody had offensive linemen that were out. I mean, it happens every single year to every single team.
Yeah, so, I think injuries are going to happen.
We're saying knee braces are
I think just make them optional.
Negligible.
Who cares?
Yeah.
No,
Let me put it this way.
I'm not saying mandate them.
No,
I'm asking like,
well, because they used to be mandated. They used to have to wear them.
yes.
My thing is this: if guys on Sundays aren't wearing them and they are the best of the best, then why wear them? That's my thing. I don't think they played in to Turner breaking his foot or Piper breaking his hand. Like injuries are going to happen.
And I think some people would argue that those guys are the best of the best, so of course they don't have to wear braces.
So that's actually where I was going. Is like the best of the best probably have better mechanics than a guy playing at Nebraska. Like,
well,
it's probably a little bit less of a risk.
You would hope. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. I know we have about 24 people in here watching us. We appreciate you. We're going to go top up our beers. We'll be back. If you're sitting here waiting for us, please give us a follow at NBNR Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We greatly appreciate. Oh, and TikTok, of course. We'll greatly appreciate it. We'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Hey, and try to add some questions in there for the overview of the season. What do you think? And give us some questions.
Yep. Throw questions, comments in the chat. We got lots of good ones out here we're going to get to. So keep doing that, and we'll be back.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
We have the saying, no block, no rock.
Thank you, Troy. What's Rob Morrissey?
Our guy, Rob Morrissey, he asked Jared a question. Run the damn ball guy. How do you feel about the progression? Oh, my gosh. What?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Sorry.
My apologies. No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. Hold on.
Run the ball. I'm the damn ball guy.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. Jared, run the damn ball guy. How do you feel about the progression of our offensive line?
What's YOY?
Year over year.
Year over year? Listen, I just got done talking about this. The offensive line went through a lot of injuries. They had to play guys that haven't played a lot. Justin Evans-Jenkins and so on.
Which did not play really at all against Iowa. Like, how was the guy that was starting at left guard?
Yeah,
So they put Nuri at left guard, and they started Latovsky at right guard. the whole Iowa offensive line rotation or whatever you want to call it was really bad. But go on.
Weird.
No, I think this offseason, you can't go into it going, oh, Donnie Raiola sucks. I thought we all saw an improvement on the offensive line. And that's not even considering the injuries that they went through. Like, I don't think it's a talking point in this offseason. And, you can talk about Teddy Prohaska. Don't know what to make of him just yet. I feel like he's still trying to figure out mentally where he's at. Hopefully with a full offseason of no rehab, he can make a solid comeback. But what's Ben Scott? Is Ben Scott coming back?
Potentially.
Like, I just don't think the offensive line is a talking point.
Yeah.
I thought they were
and that's a good thing.
Don't you think they improved? And look, I can remember against Wisconsin some timely penalties. Yikes. But I think just overall they made improvements. I don't think it's a talking point.
Yeah.
What have we said for weeks? If the offensive line is getting attention, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So not seeing a lot of glaring issues near that end of the season, not a lot.
Yeah.
And there were some, but not a lot. That's a really good step, especially looking at YOY.
Yeah.
I mean, I said
Year over year.
I say YOY at the end of every fucking
Why?
game.
Why did you throw that interception?
Yeah, but year over year, looking at the offensive line, yeah, like Jared, like you said, I have no complaints.
No.
Yeah.
I at least not comparatively.
Okay, I won't say no complaints.
Comparatively.
But yes, yeah. But
comparatively.
compared to last year, boy, that was
The beginning of last year, watching that was rough.
sickening.
And it has gotten much better.
it's gotten better. And I think Donnie is also on the recruiting trail, potentially going to bring in some guys that could help, and it goes back to the whole Rhule philosophy, emphasis on both offense and defensive lines. And I think that stuff, I mean, he's not lying. Like, both offense and defensive line, they got better throughout the year.
Yep.
By the end of the year, the O-line was playing very well. And the defensive line, they were wrecking havoc. Like, Ty Robinson could go play on Sundays if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Nash Hutmacher could go play on Sundays if he wanted to. They are coming back because they want to.
Job's not done.
Job's not done.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got some more comments in the chat.
JND. Job's not done.
Job's not done.
What else you got?
Our friend Nick Clavel said, where's everybody standing with quarterbacks? Give Chuba a chance, or do we need to hit the portal? We kind of touched on this, Nick, a little bit, but we'll go into it real quick. We think they should hit the portal. Let's keep it pretty simple there.
Portal.
I think you need a guy that is experienced who can manage a game.
And just to kind of add to this, yes, they need to hit the portal. They need to get at least one quarterback. But I will just say, as the skeptic of this, I don't know, I don't want to call myself that, but the skeptic of the podcast, I will say, whoever Rhule and Satterfield go to bat for, I am going to be automatically skeptical because of what we saw this past offseason with Jeff Sims, how they died on the Jeff Sims hill. If it is Will Howard, I'll still be like, really, you picked him. Interesting. Okay. I don't, anything that you say to try to build him up, or if you put him in the same sentence as NFL, I'm going to automatically cringe and back away and go, no. So I'm just going to be skeptical of anyone that they bring in because I have been duped.
Am I crazy?
That's right.
That right now, my 2024 QB ranking, QB1, Portal, QB2, Chuba,
sure,
QB3, Harburg.
No, because I'm going to shoot my shot right now with that. Chuba Purdy is graduating this offseason.
You think so? I heard a lot of
he is graduating, which will give him immediate eligibility to transfer elsewhere. So my thing is I would believe that by either spring or after spring, Chuba will not be on the roster if he is not the quarterback.
I can see that.
I'm calling that now. I do not expect to see Chuba on the roster next year. And I will continue to say that from now until the next 9 months. I do not think Chuba will be on the quarterback roster if we pull in a transfer portal quarterback.
I don't think that's like a super hot take.
I don't think it's a hot take. I'm just telling you that's what's going to happen.
I'm saying I don't think it's a hot take. This is just like my dream is that QB1 is Portal, QB2 is Chuba, QB3 is Harburg. And then Sims is either QB 55.
No, he's working at Amigos.
Yeah.
No, he's working. He has to get pay
think
off
that's part
that
of
loan, that NIL loan that they probably gave him.
You know why they call it? Hold on, just let me get this joke in. I have to say it. You know why they call it Jeff Sims special, right?
Why?
Because he's the one making it now.
Yeah.
He's the one wearing the Amigos hat in the kitchen, making me the Jeff Sims burrito. Sorry, go on.
I want to be clear. Like, I don't think any of us have anything wrong with Jeff Sims as a person. I appreciate what he came in and he did really give us all. I don't think there's really a spot for him.
No, there's
at
not.
the University of Nebraska anymore.
Wyatt asked a follow-up question that kind of goes back to your depth chart, and you said Harburg would be on there. He said, can Harburg transfer back to a tight end wide receiver type role like we saw him in Minnesota, but bigger, faster, stronger version of McCaffrey? Yes, Wyatt. What, dude? We should have the first, I don't want to say first, but like we should have a modern day Taysom Hill in this offense.
That's what I've been saying for months.
Harburg will find a role because Rhule loves him. And why would Harburg leave? He's from Nebraska. He wants to wear the N. Find ways to get him the football. That's my thing. He's a playmaker. He's not a quarterback.
You will freak defenses out.
Yes.
By fucking just putting Harburg wherever you want.
He's a 4-5 guy who can run aggressively, and if he doesn't have to take every snap,
hell,
he can stay fresh.
You could put him in as a fullback. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
The kid can catch a ball, he can run the ball, and if needed, he can throw it occasionally.
Yes, occasionally.
Fullback. As if this
Jared,
staff's going to use a fullback.
Do you think that Harburg would have a spot in this offense as a Swiss knife
gadget
guy?
Player?
I'm going to say no, and here's why. Because I don't think this staff will do that.
Okay.
I don't think that they are.
But they did it in Minnesota. They said he's a quarterback all offseason, and then the first game he was lined up at tight end.
Right.
And he got a catch, didn't he?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he had more targets than Thomas Fedoni.
But I don't think they approach that as Heinrich Harburg's our Swiss Army knife. Like they only played him at quarterback out of sheer desperation. It's not like they ever intended to play him at quarterback to begin with.
But no,
I don't think Satterfield, and this is maybe my knock on him, he's not nearly as adventurous or creative, I don't think, to use a Swiss Army knife like you're saying with Taysom Hill. I don't think he's going to do that.
I just feel like Matt Rhule saw a lot of Taysom Hill when he was with the Panthers, Poverty Panthers. So maybe get creative. I also think
I'm for it. I'm for it.
Matt Rhule is not dumb too. He knows that the offense was bad. He knows people want Satterfield's head. So maybe a guy, he was a football coach before he was a head coach. Matt Rhule did say that. So maybe he'll have some influence on the offense moving forward.
Yeah.
We got a couple more questions, and let's get into our evaluation.
So let's talk about Satterfield.
Okay.
Because I'm, a couple weeks ago, I basically said, hey, I am not fire Sat guy, but it's gonna happen in 2 years. I just see it happening. Not calling for it. I just see it happening. Your guys' thoughts, and the reason why I say that is I'm sure he's like Scott Frost. He's a great play designer. There's guys running wide open. That's great. That's great. But the mark of a coach is not whether or not you can get guys open on routes. The mark of a good coach is adjusting for the players that you have. So from that standpoint, I just don't think Satterfield is that great of a coach. And you look at his track record with the turnovers. Look, if you want your offense to be a turnover machine, you will keep him as your OC. That's just how I feel. That's what I've seen. And those are the trends. South Carolina, whatever. If you want your offense to be a turnover machine, you will keep Satterfield as your offensive coordinator. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I just feel like he won't be here very, very much longer if he is your offensive coordinator.
I want to be very clear. This is not me going to bat for Marcus Satterfield. To get this out of the way, I don't think he should be fired right now. I don't believe he should. In fact, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I actually texted in our group chat and said something along the lines of like, oh shit, yeah, I might be on the fire Sat train. I will own that.
Yep.
I did say that. as of right now, I would disagree with myself. But Jared, just said that, you have to account for, the players that we have. Losing 3 offensive linemen, 3 receivers.
Absolutely. That sucks.
We were RB3 or RB4? RB4 by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Satterfield didn't really have a lot to work with, and that made things increasingly difficult. I am not discounting. I think everyone can admit that there were some terrible play calls down the stretch. But with the extent of the offensive injuries that we faced throughout the season, getting to 5-7 is obviously not what we wanted, but he did get us to 5-7, and I would like to see what he can do next year.
You grant him a mulligan because they went through some injuries. I get that.
I'm not calling, I get it. I'm not calling for a head just yet.
Right.
And I think people that are calling for a head, I read through this whole thread today about people that were grading the season, just totally not acknowledging the injuries. So you are right to be upset, Nebraska fans. You're right to be upset. But you are wrong to be calling for heads at this current moment.
Okay. I know. Sorry if you guys had points, but I'm just like, when it comes to the toxic positive Husker fans, like this is the 7th annual, like, for all you guys calling for heads, you guys are irrational. Look, you toxic positive Husker fans, you know damn well that the majority of people do not want Rhule fired. So you make these posts knowing you're going to get a lot of likes because most people agree with you. You guys have usually the most followers on any social media platform that you are on because most people agree with you. Okay. Here's where I stand on this. You can acknowledge that progress was made overall in this program while also acknowledging the last 4 games were failures.
Atrocious.
And a lot of it, not just play on the field, not just melting down in the 4th quarter. I'm talking about like the guys on headsets.
Failure.
Like the things that we saw the last 4 games, guys, we reverted back to old habits, if I'm being quite frank. And can't sit here and be honest and tell you, I see this gave me a lot of hope. The last 4 games, guys, it has me a little skeptical because when the pressure was at its highest, the guys on the headsets and on the field both crumbled. And it's sad because even Rhule himself said, no, we want pressure. We encourage pressure because when there's pressure, that means that there's something to actually play for. You guys just want one more win? Hell yeah, dude. And I think that it caught up with them in the last 4 games where they felt that pressure. And that makes me a little worried.
Yeah. No,
Kyle.
I totally agree with you.
Kyle, what are your
Questionable
thoughts
play
on
calls, clock management. I'm spitting everywhere. Very concerning.
KB, what do you think about the Satterfield? Should he stay or should he go?
I'm on one hand, you can compare Marcus Satterfield to the Jeff Sims experiment where South Carolina, they led the nation in turnovers.
We can fix him.
We can fix him.
Fix that. He's the bad boyfriend. He's a bad boy.
We're like, yeah, we can fix Jeff Sims. He can come here and he can be an NFL quarterback. Wrong. Huge mistake.
They tell me, Jeff Collins tells me.
And on the other hand, you can also, like you said, Connor, look at the injuries. If Tony White did not have what he had coming into this year, there is a high likelihood that this defense is obviously not as good. And people are not talking about, oh, Tony White's going to be the next head coach at XYZ next school next year. Like, he had a lot to work with. He had a lot of experience to work with. He had a lot of guys that have been here for 3-4 years. And Marcus Satterfield got here and he's running 3 wide receivers that are all true freshmen. He's working with a Frankenstein offensive line, a transfer quarterback that led the nation in turnovers last year, who he picked, by the way, so that's not an excuse. And he's working with his 3rd and 4th string running back. So like,
right.
I'm on the train of like, who am I to say, yeah, he should be gone? Because I know that I can look at it with brains and be like, yeah, he got the short end of the stick when it comes to the defense versus the offense.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got some popsicle sticks and scotch tape, and he's trying to put together a fucking offense.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
it's tough.
Now,
It's tough.
You did bring up the point about experienced guys on defense, and that is true. There were some guys that showed up this year that I like Omar Brown, Deshaun Singleton, guys who have been in the program.
That was a guy I wish we would have had all year. Deshaun Singleton was a game changer.
But I mean, I think my point is, and I think defense is a little easier to coach than offense, right? I mean, we could say that.
I don't know.
I don't know that I agree with that.
And here's even why I say that, because Tony White himself has been on record saying, like, I let go of the reins. I kind of let the defense kind of run around and make plays and hashtag don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to tell me that takes a lot of like.
Hold on.
disagree.
You mean Tony White, the defensive coach, said defense is easier for him to coach? Yeah,
No,
because he's
that's-
been doing it.
No, that's
not
what
what
I
he
said.
meant. Yeah, no, that's not
No,
what
I'm saying me.
Oh,
That's
you.
my opinion.
Okay.
yeah.
I think coaching defense is easier to coach than
I
offense.
disagree.
I think I would disagree with that.
I think the advancement of offenses and just like you have to go against spread teams, then you have to go against pro style, then you have to go against option.
I got to
all
go
this
against
stuff.
Iowa.
And again, Mike and I talked about earlier in the episode, the real, it's not like super prominent, but the advent of the gadget player in like the last 5 to 8 years, where it's being a little bit more common, and you have to account for these real X factors. I don't know that I would say defense is any easier than offense to
The
coach.
hardest position on the field to play is defensive back. So if that says anything, well,
Okay,
yeah.
but here, maybe I'm contradicting myself. Like, it's really easy. It's easier to coach offense if you have Tom Brady.
Yeah, oh, I agree.
It's hard.
Yes,
It's hard. It's hard to coach offense when you have Heinrich Harburg.
Yes, 100%.
Your personnel.
Yes.
Let's
Personnel made Tony White's job a lot easier
just saying,
than Marcus Satterfield.
It can be a wide gulf between.
Yes.
So
what you
if the statement you're making was this year, it was easier for Nebraska coaches, for Tony White to coach the offense than it was for Satterfield to coach the offense, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean,
think
you have
that's
to
a-
imagine the offense is going against really good defenses
Yeah.
in the Big Ten, and the defenses are going against really terrible offenses in the
Yes.
Big Ten.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
I would agree with that statement,
Yeah.
but I don't think innately it's easier to coach either side. I think
fair.
both are pretty difficult.
maybe that was a
Yeah.
hot take on my part.
Okay. Marcus
I'm willing to
Satterfield.
admit that.
I have said since that whole fire Sat thing has been going, I have said that they need to keep Satterfield. I'm back on the train with what Matt Rhule said a few weeks ago. He said, yeah, firing guys, what did that do for you? Yeah, I'm on that train. Like, we are establishing culture.
I get it.
Like, why are we going to start from ground zero again?
Do we
New offense, new play calling, new everything.
Right.
So my question is, where does that train end? Like, we get to 5 wins this year. And
No,
people are
it
calling
ends
for
next year.
Satterfield's hat.
No,
but
you give an OC. Honestly, he you could give him half a year. If our offense is as bad as it was, say we get Will Howard, and our offense is still terrible after 5 games.
Common denominator.
You take away the reins and you fire him.
But my question is, where does that train end? Where does enough offensive production become enough? Like next year we get 6 wins. Let's say hypothetically we fire Satterfield. Next year we get 6 wins.
If Nebraska,
enough?
if Nebraska was literally in the middle of the rankings on offense,
We have 8
we
wins.
would have had 8 wins this
If
year.
you don't lead the nation in turnovers.
Yeah, but like, where does it become enough? When do
Listen,
we stop?
listen,
If
When
we
it's not
allow-
a
common
detriment.
sense.
When it's not
but
a detriment.
If we allow the fans to decide coaching changes, when does it become enough?
We are not
fire-
Texas A&M, okay?
We fire Bo Pelini for 9-3 and I believe
We've
1 10
learned our
that's
lesson.
not.
But yeah, but
That's
no,
not. It's not a good comparison.
we didn't do shit.
I'm not comparing
Yeah.
Bo Pelini to this. I'm saying if you allow the fans to control coaching changes,
Fans are not controlling that there though. That would be a Matt Rhule thing.
I'm agreeing with Matt Rhule on
Yeah.
this. Like Matt Rhule saying, no, we're not doing this. That's ridiculous. But you have all these fans saying fire Satterfield. Fire.
He doesn't care what the fans say.
I'm
Well,
agreeing with
I
him.
might disagree with that.
I'm agreeing with him.
I think it got to his head.
But if you listen to these outside voices that are not affiliated with the program saying you got to fire this guy, when does it stop? And the answer is never.
No.
And you just find yourself in this deep hole.
I think
fans need to sit back. We hired Matt Rhule 8 years. Give him some time. Trust him.
You're right,
dude. You're reiterating exactly what we're all saying. Though. We
I'm
all said
agreeing with you. I keep saying that.
Yeah, you're agreeing, but you're arguing about the agreement.
Yeah, like I was getting into that. Yes, like
I'm saying,
don't change anything yet.
Yes, I'm arguing against the fan base that is calling for Satterfield's head. Calm down.
Right, and like I just don't want this to turn into Bill Callahan holding on to Cosgrove. I don't listen. Does Matt Rhule want to be here? If things are not trending in the right direction, if you are even bottom 5 in turnover margin next year, it's like, common denominator. Who is it? You gotta make a change.
Yes.
I'm just saying, if you're in the bottom of the turnover margin again because your offense is turning the ball over like they have, then of course, like you can't hold on to something that's not working.
Yeah. And a fun note, I mean, Rhule has fired his offensive coordinator after the first year at both of his college stops prior to this.
And what do they do in year 2 and 3?
They get better. They get better.
Just say it.
So I
don't just have a sense of urgency if you really feel like you need to do something.
I personally think Matt Rhule will have a sense of urgency. Tim said in the chat, if we are in the top 20 in turnovers next year, does that change your mind on firing anyone or no bowl game again next year? Tim, if we are in the top 20 in turnovers again, there will not be they're going to fire more than just Satterfield. I'm just saying that the offensive staff is going to change dramatically. And then, if we don't make another bowl game, that's an issue. And I'm not saying Matt Rhule is going to get fired, but remember that it's 5 and 7 in year 1. If you go look at Matt Rhule's previous stops, he never won 5 games. So if we're 5 and 7 again, that's concerning. Even if you get to 6 and 6, how does it look?
So Kyle made a really good point. Both at Temple and at Baylor, Matt Rhule fired his OC after year 1. What does it say to you guys that after year 1, leading the nation in turnovers, Matt Rhule is sticking with Satterfield?
That Matt Rhule knows more than we do.
Yeah.
That he understands the same
situation?
concept that we're talking about, about the injuries and the fact that he's already behind.
And they knew that they failed at quarterback.
Yeah.
That's Matt Rhule pointing the thumb and saying, we swung and missed on this quarterback. I can't fire a guy when I handpicked this guy.
Yeah.
That's not his problem.
It's both. Yeah, it's both of theirs.
Yeah. It's both their problems. Right. It's both their responsibility. And Matt Rhule is just saying, hey, you get another chance. But like I said, 4 or 5 games into next season, if the offense is in the bottom again and we're turning the ball over at a historical rate, hey, Mr. Satterfield,
it's probably about time.
Yeah, it's about time that you go down to the pasture and bye.
We can agree for right now. Put your pitchforks and torches away.
He's not going anywhere.
He ain't going anywhere anyway.
Put him away. Give him a year.
No, I don't give him a year. I say give him 5 games.
5 games, huh?
Yeah, if you look at the schedule.
Who do you have stepping up if he goes after 5 games?
Garrett McGuire.
It'll be a guy that's called plays in the past, I would imagine. So I'm sure there's somebody on the staff who's called offensive plays before.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Okay.
I would say if you look at our schedule for next year, there's people saying that we should be 6-0, 7-0, whatever it is.
All you schedule watchers.
If you look at our offense,
you think you know better by now.
If we are that bad after that many games, they're going to make a change because it's going to, I don't want to say it's panic mode, but it's going to be panic mode.
Yeah.
Because we lost the last 4 of this season. So if the offense continues to be bad with a new quarterback and if maybe a new identity
and a overhaul.
Yeah. And maybe an overhaul or whatever it is, that's an issue.
Yeah.
So, okay. Right. We got a couple more comments in the chat.
What you got?
Let's see here.
What are these dinguses saying?
Our friend Kyle Ross said, I hope that Satterfield does good next season for the Huskers.
Me too.
And that the season next year sees success. Thank you, Kyle. Because I am not a college football coach and I've never been a football coach. So I would be gone very quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Could not do any better than what we have now. Kyle, good job.
We're in the same boat.
Yeah.
Big dog.
We are not college coaches.
Yeah.
If you are tuning in thinking that we are college coaches, you might want to turn us off.
I'm barely qualified to do this.
Dude, I'm barely qualified to drink this beer. So
yeah, I mean, we could not be college coaches, but at the same time, we are allowed to
Comment.
critique, and
That's our job. We're fans.
Listen, here's the thing, right? And this kind of goes to my point about the toxic positive Husker fans. Let people be emotional. This is what being a fan is about. Just because you see it on Twitter, it's not real life. It's the vast minority of people venting their frustrations. If you go to a Husker game in Memorial Stadium with 90,000-ish people surrounding you, 80,000 of those people are probably never on Twitter.
Mhm.
You know that these people calling for heads are the vast minority of people. Let people be emotional. If anything, I would argue Husker fans have the absolute right to be emotional, considering how these games have ended.
Yeah, I mean,
speaking
look,
of that.
if you want me to be passionate about buying season tickets, Mike, if you want to see me be passionate in the stands and buying your guys' merch and giving money to the university, then I can be passionate when we're 5-7 for the fucking 7th year in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
That's
been 7
It's a right.
Yeah.
You've earned it.
Yes.
Yeah.
A fan can be a fan and a coach has to be a coach.
And look, another thing, I'm kind of going on a rant here, but like, if you think like Nebraska fans are like top 20 in toxic fan bases,
You're out of your
bro,
mind.
listen,
You're out of your fucking mind.
like Texas A&M is the most extreme example, but dude, there are so many worse.
Ohio State.
Dude, our sports writers are they carry water. Okay, like come on, they're so soft. Anyway,
I want to point out that
God, dude, like it's not even bad here. If you complain about Husker fans, just imagine if your fan base was in the SEC. I bet you even Vanderbilt fans are freaking worse than us. Like, come on.
Michigan fans almost rioted, and they finished the season 12-0 because their head coach got suspended for 3 games because he got caught very clearly cheating. And
like
they were fucking furious. You want to talk about toxic fan bases? Don't get me wrong. Nebraska has its toxicity.
Oh, of course. Any
We
blue
do.
blood does.
We do.
Yes.
But you're not the worst.
Yes, you're not the worst. Josh said in the chat, 4th quarter, 12 minutes left, 10-point lead. First down, pass. Second down, pass. Third down, pass. Fourth down, punt. Josh, we're with you. We are 100% with you.
Lack of game feel.
Our friend Jake Curtis said NBNR coaching staff. Who's the head coach? Who's the OC? Who's the DC? Who's the special teams coordinator?
I love this.
All right.
I don't know.
The head coach. Who's
We'll
the most-
we'll go around the table right now. All right. I would say Kyle
Yeah.
would be the
Yes.
special teams coordinator.
Oh, no. Kyle is the head coach. The award show.
That's true.
CEO.
He is. Well, I was going to say mine, and then you could say yours, and you can say yours.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Well, you said special teams.
No, one at a time. Everybody run through their 4.
Shit. Now you're going to change it.
Now I got to change it. Connor's special teams coordinator.
Thank you.
Kyle, you're OC. Jared.
Yeah, don't make me OC because it's triple option all day, baby.
Yeah.
I'm Army.
Your head coach. I'm DC.
Jared?
I cannot be a head coach because I got to overlook everything. I couldn't do that. So that's Kyle. I think I would be DC. God, Connor. What would you be?
I know where this is going.
Are you drawing up plays or is Mike drawing up plays? I'm gonna make Mike special teams. Your offensive coordinator. Because you're a statistical analytics guy.
That should be more special teams. Then.
No, you're my OC. But I'm definitely not head coach. That's Kyle.
He's like, you're definitely not getting retained after 1 year. Connor,
right.
what's yours?
So this one actually was pretty easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Jared's my head coach.
Oh, jeez.
Kyle's my defensive coordinator.
Mm.
I'm taking OC. Mike is special teams.
Man, all right.
Okay.
I don't know anything about special teams. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Kyle, what do you got?
No, I think I would go myself, head coach.
Mm.
I would go Connor, special teams. Mike, offensive coordinator, and no, I'm sorry, Jared, offensive coordinator, and Mike, defensive coordinator.
He likes the option.
That's because that question set itself up so perfectly. Like the guys talking about, oh yeah, first down pass, second down pass. I can just Jared's not gonna allow that shit.
Run. Hey, when it doesn't work, we're running again.
I got picked as special teams twice there.
Yeah.
You know we're faking fucking everything. We
And
don't punt, baby.
Dude, if I'm OC 4th and 1, I don't care where I'm at. I'm going.
Yeah, we don't punt.
You want to be aggressive? Fine.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hey, our boy Tanner Wooten's out there.
What's
Shout
up?
out Tanner Wooten.
Hey, nice win.
Congrats on the win.
Said Ohio State. Yeah, they're crazy. They want to. No, that was Ryan. Sorry, Ryan said Ohio State. They want to fire Ryan Day because they lose to Michigan. LOL. That is kind of funny though. I'm sure Tanner Wooten likes that too. What else we got, guys?
No, I think Tanner would want Ohio State to keep Ryan Day.
Yeah, he's a punching bag.
There's something about Ryan.
And Lou Holtz, all right?
3 straight. isn't it?
Gosh, it's about
3
Lou
straight.
Holtz. If Lou Holtz coaches that game, they win.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Ryan Day is
Born
scared.
on third base.
Ryan Day is scared. even freaking their Michigan's freaking interim out coach Ryan Day.
I did love. I think it was Roman in that press conference. He says, yeah, they want to wear the $1,000 outfits and wear the Louis V and all this other stuff. And he's like, they're soft. They're not whatever. That is the perfect example of what Ohio State is and what Michigan is in this conference.
Dude, and Ryan Day's in pregame, like he's in the middle of the huddle. I don't know if you guys saw that video, but he's like,
yeah,
he's like bumping into dudes.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh's at home chugging milk.
Hey, here's a question.
It's all fake. It's all a mirage. It's all a tough guy act. And it's not working.
Do you think that Michigan's interim coach,
Sharon Moore,
once Jim Harbaugh leaves, will become the head coach?
No.
Wait, I thought Jim Harbaugh was dead.
No.
Is that not why he's been crying after every goddamn game? Calm down.
No, Sharon
The number
Moore.
one team in the country.
You don't think
Calm
he would
down.
become the head coach once Jim Harbaugh leaves for the NFL after this year?
I don't think so.
No. Jim Harbaugh ain't leaving.
Michigan fans, Tanner Wooten, shout out, would not allow that. They would say they need an established. They need
maybe Ryan Day.
Yeah,
maybe Urban Meyer.
Get sick Naben, whatever.
Yeah.
But they would not allow Sharon Moore to be head coach. And plus, you have to figure Harbaugh is still there every day besides Saturday.
Yeah.
Harbaugh
isn't leaving.
Okay.
Okay. So last thing on the season, and we've got 9 months to figure out what we want to talk about and trying to figure out like the overview of the season. We'll be talking about this stuff for months.
And
every
we'll
week.
have our former players and media. Lots of good guests. We got plenty of weeks. I think we said 54 weeks.
Yeah, something like that.
We have 54 episodes to fill.
278.
The last thing, while it's fresh in our minds, how did we feel about special teams this year?
Can
we just do let's do a letter grade?
Letter
You want to do a letter grade?
I think that's a letter grade, and then we can elaborate.
Okay.
I think.
What are we at on the episode?
I mean, we're sitting at about $1.24. So
we're wrapping it up. This is kind of last call here.
I'm saying letter grade, and then we give a full season grade.
What do you mean?
Well, just what do you got for special teams?
Yeah.
On the season?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I'm gonna call it somewhere between a D+ and C-.
I'm with you there. Like Tristan Alvano, true freshman. Percentage wise, if you look at the percent, not great.
Not good enough.
But I feel like he will be fine going forward. Punting, other than the one versus Iowa where I got pinned at the 1, not good enough.
F.
Like it's a lot. Like I don't think he got better. I really don't overall. And of course, the kick and punt returns. You're going to tell me that improved?
F.
No. So like not an maybe an F. Shit. Ed Foley. F for Foley? Yeah, I mean, if it's not F, it's pretty damn close.
Yeah, I've got D-. Literally the only thing that you can point at that's been somewhat successful is Tristan Alvano making what 60%.
He made that long kick.
That was it. That's the highlight of the year.
Hey, that's a 5-star. That's the difference between 5 and 7 and 7 and 5 right there.
Well, Illinois.
It is.
I mean, yeah. I mean, That's really we had 0 punt return yards on the year. We had one decent return this year, and that was against Minnesota. The first game of the year, didn't see anything else.
Yeah.
So I say D-. I mean, there was nothing on special teams this year, minus the blocks against Iowa.
Okay, damn.
Yeah.
If Nebraska would have put out that Iowa win,
That's what got me at D+.
then maybe I'm at a D+.
Yeah, that's what got me to that D+.
I'm at a D. I think, reiterating everything you guys said, I think the blocking game was better. We blocked punts this year. We blocked field goals this year, which we have not seen. I think the fake punts were phenomenal this year.
Yeah,
We had a couple of those. So I would say half of the third phase was decent, and the other half was dog shit. So I will say a D.
Yeah, I'm gonna go D+. Like, the block field goal against Purdue for their score, and the 2 block kick against Iowa. D+. Yeah,
the fake kicks were just great.
Yeah,
like Bleak God running that.
Yeah,
like come on now, like some of those fakes were great.
Yeah,
so
he had a smile on his face while he's running through.
And we will say too, kickoff coverage and punt coverage were fine.
Didn't allow a touchdown.
We didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
So they were fine. So that's another part of that phase that has been bad.
Yeah. I'll take mine to a D+. Sure.
I'm still rocking a D.
Yeah.
But I consider all that.
Yeah, you are.
D for Delaware.
Well, no, it's not a big one.
That D.
Not a big one.
Which makes you think about Ed Foley, like him long term, like makes you think.
Yeah. Okay. So real quick, Tim says, how does Buschini, in quotations, spelling ? Go from award punter to crap?
I don't think he was an award punter. I think he was a nominee, and I think they nominate 100 punters. So don't ever look at the preseason nominees.
No, I do recall. I think he was leading whatever that conference was in punting. Like he was.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, at the FCS level,
right?
Those balls must have helium in them,
right?
Because he could not punt for shit since he put on a Nebraska uniform.
It's another thing that it sucks. It doesn't matter what position it is. It doesn't matter where you play. Never ever look at previous stats. Like Buschini did great. Alvano, I mean, in the state championship, hit what, like 3 massive field goals?
Like 50-yarders.
Yeah. And hit 60% in the season. Like, you have to look at what's in front of you.
I just don't know
how it happened. I don't know.
I don't know what goes into that, man. I don't know how that happens.
Specialists.
Well, look,
90% of specialists is mental.
Yeah.
Because the other 10% they've done every day. That's all they do. They don't get hit.
Yeah. Is that why all the weird ones are really great?
Yes. Weird specialists are the great ones.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
It's the same that you compare football and hockey. Goalies are weird. Punters and kickers, weird.
They're weird dudes.
Well, again, you can never really discount the effect that a crowd can have on a human being.
Yeah.
Like being surrounded by 100,000 is much different than being surrounded by 5,000 playing in Montana.
Right.
I think that plays that just psychologically. I think we saw that with freaking one Big Ten kicker, Culp.
Connor Culp.
Oh yeah, Connor Culp.
Like, come on,
So
you can't discount.
name.
Like, hey, cardboard, no more.
Yeah.
It's actual people going, you suck. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big difference.
I said that Connor Culp, the kicks that he did miss were big kicks.
Yeah.
And that was no fans, pressure moments.
Right.
And then he sucked. Alvano, it didn't matter if it was a pressure kick or not. It was about a coin flip if it was going to go in or not. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it has been another ride. The 3rd season of NBNR.
Fourth.
This is the 4th?
Well, yeah, this is season 4, baby.
Yeah, but
Jinx.
Yeah, but the only third football season.
Football season.
Yeah. But it's been a ride.
At least it has them in 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been to Minnesota.
It will be 7.
We'll all bring our favorite moments. Maybe we'll do like a live show or something. We'll bring all of our favorite moments from the year. But it's been cool, man.
Hey, maybe
I had a request today to have us do another live show in the brewery.
I'm down.
I had a request today.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. Maybe a live show for a basketball game. That'd
be cool.
Nebraska
7-0.
7-0.
Little watch party action.
I am down.
They have
Creighton.
Nebraska ball has as many wins this year as Nebraska's gone without a bowl. 7.
Stop.
7. They are 7-0. It's fun to watch.
Hell yeah, baby.
I think before we get, because I'm sure we're getting ready to sign off.
Yep.
I think it's important to address Brandon Tiedemann.
Oh, shit.
We lost a bet to you.
So you're getting a tattoo, Connor.
No, it's Hawkeye gear.
Yeah.
But while we might not be wearing Hawkeye gear today, you will see us soon-ish, recording an episode in Hawkeye gear.
We are men of our word.
Yeah.
We lose bets.
Unfortunately, we have integrity.
I'll wear black and gold.
We lose bets. We pay our debts.
Yeah.
We'll do it. It's just not today.
Yep.
Brandon, don't think we forgot about you.
Yeah, I already talked to him. We're gonna have him on the show, and we're all gonna wear our Hawkeye gear.
Hey, no block, no rocker. Always pays his debts.
I'll wear black and gold.
A bet's a bet.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, listen. I hope you found us entertaining. I hope you agreed with most of what we said because, again, we are right. Go to nbnrpodcast.com. You will find merch. Go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, at NBNR Podcast. You will find, hopefully, like entertaining videos. I am always trying to post something. Kyle's always posting something. Connor's doing his betting thing.
We have
that shit's dead, just like Nebraska football.
Oh no,
dead.
We have a very special edition that I've actually been putting a lot of time into. We're gonna have a very special bowl game edition.
3 weeks worth of time he's putting into this TikTok.
Yeah.
If you're trying to win money,
I missed 2.
Go watch Connor's Cover Corner. That's on TikTok.
I am going to be doing the full slate of bowl games.
Jesus, that's going to be a 40-minute fucking.
Oh, so if you've watched the Cover Corner before, I normally provide a little bit of context on why I'm picking each game.
Don't do that. Nobody likes
when
context.
you watch the bowl game edition, there will be none of that.
No context.
I'm giving you scores, and that's it.
Because when it comes to bowl games, it doesn't matter.
You might want to make that like a 10-part video, 10 different videos.
There you go.
It would be
It
better
may need
for
to
you.
be.
Yeah.
It may need to
You'd
be.
be better off just picking teams based off their logo. Which logo you like best?
Which color do I look better in?
Yeah.
Ooh. I
Yeah.
might consider just flipping a coin on games and seeing how I do.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Shout out to our sponsors, MXA Construction, Ritchie Holiday Lights, Nebraska Brewing Company, Nebraska
B&B.
Garage Solutions, B&B Maids of Omaha, and of course, Herdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Pizza was lit.
Pizza and cheese curds were awesome.
Hell yeah. The ranch is legit.
Dude, their ranch actually is really good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Did I leave anything out? Spotify. We're on Spotify, Apple, freaking Amazon, whatever.
YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube, please.
Just
There's
literally-
13 of you in here still. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We would appreciate it.
All right, guys. Let's sign off. I'm one of your hosts, Jared Hall.
Mike Delaware.
Kyle Byers.
And Connor Cavlack.
As always, beat Creighton.
Yep.
In GBR.